Rach, long time no see. Welcome to the first video of 2015. If you're a new subscriber, hi, it's nice to meet you. I'm Rachael. I hope you enjoy my videos. Today we're starting off the new year by talking about some of my favorites from last year. I'm a little bit late. I'm feeling a little bit rusty because I've taken a few weeks off, haven't sat in front of a camera and spoke to you guys for a while, but I'm excited to be able to do it, and I'm excited to be able to share some of my favorite new discoveries from 2014. So with that being said, let's start with the base products. You know I'm all about the base, Yeah, don't pretend like that didn't come to your head as well. So base products. First one, a primer that I came to love in 2014. It's the Innoxa Skin Perfecting Pore Vanishing Cream. This is an Australian brand and it is a primer that, like it says, fills in your pores. I tend to use it in my T-zone and it has a little bit of a tint to it, so it helps blurs imperfections as well. My favorite foundation find of 2014 has to be the Kogan Do Moisture Foundation. Even though moisture in the name sends chills down the spine of anybody who has oily skin like myself, it still manages to work for me, and it has to be the most skin-like foundation I have ever tried. I believe last year was its 25th anniversary as a product, which I think is pretty major for an actual product to be around for 25 years and still have people loving it and buying it. And I really enjoy it. It blends well. It has a light coverage that can be built up to quite a good coverage, medium coverage. Sometimes you can even get quite full coverage over sort of areas that you need it to be. It doesn't get cakey. I adore this foundation. I really want to try the Aqua foundation from Kogan Do because I've heard good things as well. In a similar vein, another new release that I really enjoyed this year was from Mercier, and it's the Smooth Finish Flawless Fluid. This foundation again is very like liquidy. It's one of these ones that you have to shake up. It feels very light on the skin. The finish is like a demi matte, very natural look to the skin, and you can build up the coverage with this as well. I've all been about the natural looking foundations for 2014 and then just using concealer to get a little bit of extra coverage. Didn't want to leave the drugstore out, so a foundation or a combination of foundations, my favorite from 2014 has to be the Bourjois Healthy Mix Radiance Reveal Foundation with the L'Oreal True Match. Now I'm cheating a little bit here because I did purchase and first try the Bourjois Healthy Mix in 2014, but I had this one from 2013, but the combination is from last year, so it counts as a favorite. Would highly recommend either of these from the drugstore if you're looking for a good foundation, or if you want to mix and match, maybe to get a good color match or to get a good finish, put them together. One last foundation that had to get a mention. It is a powder foundation or a mineral foundation. This is the Tarte, what is it, the exact name? The Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Airbrush Foundation. I absolutely adore this. I do not really use mineral foundations that much. I don't really use powder foundations, but this stuff goes on and gives you coverage and still looks like it is not a powder foundation. I've worn this before and people have sort of asked me what I'm wearing on my skin, and I mention this and they go, a powder one? And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't look powdery at all. It is a great product, now available in Australia at Sephora in Sydney. My favorite base product of all, concealer. I have a lot of recommendations for you guys. For a high coverage concealer, standout for this year has to be the Kat Von D Lock-It Tattoo Concealer. Great shade range. I have the shade Light 18 and it matches my natural skin perfectly. It has a lot of coverage and it has a thickness to it and a stickiness to it, so it lasts, but it's not so thick and sticky that you can't use it in other areas of the face. Like in a pinch you can use it under your eyes and it will blend out, which is something that I find isn't necessarily common in all really high coverage concealers. For under the eyes, I had a couple that stood out to me. One of them is the Origins Planscription Anti-Aging Concealer. This is a great one. It sort of looks hydrated under the skin. It doesn't look too dried out. It doesn't seem to crease too much on me as well. The only issue that I have with this is the shade range is quite limited and it's kind of hard to come by. I got mine at Kit Cosmetics. The other one for the under the eyes, I'm kind of cheating a little bit because I have used this before, but I hadn't used it in like the skin color range. I'd only used the pink one. This is the Instant Age Rewind Eraser Dark Circles Treatment Concealer from Maybelline. I have the shade Light, and other than the icky sponge, which may turn some people off if you're a real germaphobe, the actual product itself is fantastic. It's thin and it gives coverage and it doesn't crease again too much on me and doesn't cake up underneath my eyes. Really enjoy this one. Then probably my favorite concealer find of the year, I have to thank creamer from Shameless Fripperies for. This is the Dior Skin Nude Concealer. Crappy shade range. I have shade number 1 and shade number 2, and they're very, very different, and I have to kind of mix them together to get the right color for me. But this is a great concealer if you've got any kind of texture on your skin. I struggle with weird dry patches now. It's something that I'd never struggled with in the past, which is why I was so excited when she recommended this concealer, because it was at a time where I'd never had to deal with dry skin before or flakiness, and I didn't know what to do. And then I found this concealer, and it's also great for people who have acne. I have uneven texture because of like current breakouts or past breakouts and scarring, and sometimes the flakiness that you get when you're treating acne and pimples and things like that. It is a great concealer for the face. I've also been able to use it under my eyes a little bit, and if you set it with a powder, you can get it to last a decent amount of time. Moving on to powders, I tried Rouge Bunny Rouge for the first time in 2014, and I picked this powder up on a whim when I saw it in a Beauty Bay like email, one of those ones they send out sort of telling you about new products. It's the Rouge Bunny Rouge Diaphanous Impalpable Finishing Powder. It is a mouthful to say, but it is a lovely powder that I feel like it just makes your skin look better when it goes on. It's very smoothing. I don't know how to describe it. It almost like it blurs your imperfections a little bit. I really don't know what the magical technology is behind it, but I really, really enjoy it. Doesn't have the greatest oil controlling properties, but as I saw, I think it was Jodie from Guru Beauty mentioned in her 2014 favourite, she talked about really discovering the difference between a finishing powder and a setting powder, and I found the difference too. I think this is probably for me more of a finishing powder because of the way it makes your skin look great, and then I might even use a setting powder underneath it to really control my oils, particularly in my T-zone. From Makeup Forever, I tried the Makeup Forever Duo Matte Powder Foundation, and this is the first powder foundation or powder that I've ever found that I truly think actually imparts some kind of coverage. Again, the oil control properties of this aren't that fantastic. I feel like if I use this, I still have to touch up throughout the day, but it actually gives you coverage, and it goes on the skin without looking cakey. I feel like it can kind of fix your foundation. I have to give credit to Lauren Curtis. She mentioned this and I decided to just pick it up while I was at IMATS, and it is a great powder. Okay, let's move on to the cheeks. You're gonna have to bear with me because I have a lot of blush favorites, but they're all for different reasons, so I think that it's worth mentioning all of them. The first favourite I have, and definitely a standout for me from 2014, is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush Wardrobe, I think is the full name. I really loved these blushes when I first tried them. This is the one that I tried on a single. This is Mood Exposure, and then I was really excited to see this trio together. You get a plummy colour, you get a peachy colour, and you get a pinky colour all in one, and they just give you this luminous look without any obvious shimmer to them. They can be quite sheer, or you can build them up. You can go anywhere from like a light dusting of colour to a full-on like 80s stripe of blush if you want to. Wouldn't recommend it, but you can do it with these products, and I just think they're like a foolproof blush. Absolutely adore them. Some other powder blush formulas that stood out to me from the year is the Clinique Cheek Pops. This one is in the shade Berry Pop. I don't know again what it is about this formula because it doesn't have an obvious shimmer to it, but it does give you a sheen to the cheeks, a healthy glow. In a similar vein is also the MAC Extra Dimension blushes. This one was from a collection. This is the See Me, Hear Me blush. But I like the actual finish of these. This color is gorgeous as well, but it's something about this that doesn't make it look powdery. It's a powder blush that doesn't look powdery, if that makes sense. And then the last one I wanted to mention is from Tarte. It's the Amazonian 24 Clay Blush, but particularly in the shade Exposed. This to me is just the perfect natural everyday color. I particularly like this for when I'm wearing bold lips or a red lip, and I always struggle to pair blushes with like straight out reds and sometimes even bold colors depending on what they are. It's hard to find a blush that gives me color to my cheeks so I don't look washed out but also doesn't clash or look like I'm trying too hard with too much makeup. This color is just an awesome color. I warned you there was going to be a lot of blushes, and before we move on, I wanted to mention a couple of cream products. I was really excited when Josie Moran started being stocked at, I think it's Mecca, Maxima and Kit Cosmetics, or somewhere under that Mecca brand. This is the Watercolor Cheek Jelly, and these are some of the weirdest blush products I have ever tried, but I absolutely adore them. They are long wearing. They give you this stain look to the cheeks that looks really natural, like it really is coming from within. I know that's a very like beauty YouTuber saying, but that's exactly what it does. And I feel like they kind of give you a little bit of the look of the Benefit Benetint's, but without they're a little bit more foolproof to apply, and you're less likely to get a streaky application. A couple of fingers, tap it on your cheeks, and you will still see blush at the end of the day. I have skin that just eats pigment. It eats it. I don't know why, but anything I put on my cheeks disappears by the end of the day. It doesn't matter what primers I use, it goes. This stays. And then lastly, I wanted to give an honorable mention to the How About Them Apples Cheek and Lip Cream Palette from The Balm. I got this probably mid-year, around when it came out, and I loved all the colors. I love the formula. I didn't expect to like them. I don't like a lot of cream products in palettes. To me, it just generally doesn't work, but this one did. Big thumbs up from me. For contouring, there is one standout product that I used pretty much religiously since I got it. The Kevyn Aucoin, the Sculpting Powder in medium. This little baby is just, to me, it's the perfect contour shade. It's cool enough that it gives you that shadow, but it's not like completely grey, so it's a little bit more foolproof to use. You don't need to be an expert or be a perfect contourist. I'm just making up words now to be able to use this one. I've really enjoyed using it with my Ray Morris No. 3 Ultimate Cheekbone brush, a new discovery Ray Morris brushes for me this year. And my bronzing product of the year, again, something that I just used non-stop once I got it. I have to thank Estee from Essie Button for this recommendation. It is the Body Shop matte bronzing powder. I think a lot of times we call it like the honey bronzing powder, but it's their bronzing powder shade, and I got the medium matte 03. The one that has a little honeycomb print there on it. Matte, light enough to still be used in the dead of winter when I am super pale, and it just gives you a lovely warmth to your skin. Should we go lips or eyes? Lips or eyes? I don't know. Let's go eyes. So various different eye products. Let's start with the brows. I love me some brows. 2014 was definitely the year of the brows, and for me, my favorite brow product was the Hourglass Arch Brow Pencil. This thing just is the fastest way to do your eyebrows. I love it. I have the shade Soft Brown. It is fantastic for those of you who want your brows done in a short amount of time. You have your little spoolie on the end, and then you have your little sort of angled brow product here. Brush it through. You're good to go. I do need to mention the Anastasia Brow Wiz. When I first got this, I didn't actually like it that much, and that was a color choice for me. I had the brunette, which I think has since been renamed to dark brown, and I think that was just a bit too dark for me, and that's why I didn't really enjoy it that much. I have since purchased the soft brown right at the end of 2014, and I have been really enjoying it, so that's why it wasn't my number one, because I did use the Hourglass product for most of the year, but it does deserve a mention. It is a great product for those of you who need a little bit more precision in your brow applying process. It has a great spoolie. I absolutely love the spoolie of this one. It's a really fine, waxy, sort of retractable pencil. You can like draw in the brush hairs because of how the brow hairs, because it's so small. All year I set my brows with the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel, a fantastic brow gel. Doesn't make your brows look ashy at all. Keeps them in place. They will not budge for the entire day, no matter how long you wear your makeup. Definitely a great brow gel, and I love the fact that the packaging is not clear, so you can't see how gross it looks inside. But I did also want to give an honorable mention to a product that I discovered right at the end of the year. I was unsure about including it, but I'm going to. This is the Tarte Amazonian Colored Clay Tinted Brow Gel. Now, I'm still loving my Benefit Gimme Brow. I had that in my 2013 favorites, but this product, look at that brush. I love it. It is so tiny, and that was my one complaint with the Benefit Gimme Brow, is even though the brush is small, it ain't small enough, particularly for the ends. This one, It is going to be as thin as your eyebrow. It gives you texture, it gives you color. It's just an awesome brow product and I fell in love with it instantly. For eyeshadows, my favorite eyeshadow formula that I discovered in 2014 has to be the Viseart or the Viseart, however you say it, eyeshadows. I absolutely adore these. These are some of the best eyeshadows I have ever used. They blend so nicely, they feel so creamy, the colors are gorgeous. This is the Paris Muse palette. I have at the top of my wish list the Mattes palette from this brand. It looks amazing and every time I see someone use it I want to go out and buy it. Some other standout releases from the year. For me, the Becca Ombre Nudes palette is definitely probably one of my most used kind of palettes. These are the kind of shades that I go for on a daily basis. I still love my Urban Decay Naked Basics, although I do think that the formula of these eyeshadows is probably a bit better. If you like your warm browns too, I think you'll really enjoy this palette. I think the color range in the Urban Decay Naked Basics is a little bit more versatile because it's got the black and because it's got the slightly shimmery highlight shade, but still this is an awesome palette and I use it pretty much daily for work. It is a great just everyday kind of eyeshadow palette. Another great release, the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. This I just have to open. It smells amazing, absolutely amazing. Some gorgeous shades, very my kind of colors, and I think that's why I was attracted to this palette. The only problems at all that I could find with it are this thing. I don't like the fact that the names aren't printed on the packaging, which is more of a blogger YouTuber problem than it is like a normal person problem, and then also that the packaging was thick. But then they released it with the thinner packaging without the excess, so they have tried to fix the issue. I'm not overly interested in the semi-sweet version of this just because the colors don't appeal to me as much, but I do really like this one. It was a great release from 2014. And then I feel like I would be remiss without mentioning this one. Had to be the most coveted palette of 2014, I think, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do something like this again this year because they'd be silly not to. It is the La Roche Pro Mega Palette. That was another thing I discovered in 2014, that even though it is spelt La Roche, they want you to say it as La Roche. So basically switch the O and the A around when you pronounce it. I tried the Pro palette, the Pro 2 palette, and the Mega Pro palette. All of them are great palettes. I think they're probably some of the most versatile palettes I've come across. Great for beginners or people who just love makeup. I think if you are really into makeup and you really know your eyeshadow formulas, you probably know that it might not be the best eyeshadow formula in the world, but I think it does the job. Favorite cream eyeshadows of the year have to go to the By Terry Ombre Black Stars. I have 3 and I love them all. I have Bronze Moon, Misty Rock, and Brown Perfection. They're all awesome shades. I actually have a little bit on my eyes today. They just go on lovely, they blend lovely, they have a little bit of shimmer, or at least Bronze Moon and Misty Rock do, and they're just like that easy, no mess, no fuss eyeshadow look. They do last quite a while on me. They last longer if I apply a primer underneath. Speaking of which, my favorite primer of the year has to be the NARS Pro Prime, what is this, smudge proof eyeshadow base. Definitely my favorite eye primer, probably of all time, but of 2014. Love this stuff, and this underneath any of the eyeshadows that I've mentioned just makes them all that much better. For eyeliner 2014, all about the liquid liner. It's definitely my favorite eyeliner format at the moment. I'm still loving my Maybelline Master Precise, but there are 2 new products that probably will rival them, and that is the Physicians Formula Eye Booster 2-in-1 Lash Boosting Eyeliner Plus Serum. It's this particular formula or particular packaging of the Physicians Formula eyeliner that I absolutely love because it has that flexible brush tip. It is not a felt tip, it is a brush tip, and I find these the easiest to use. I actually have this in the shade Deep Brown, and my only gripe about this product is that I can't find it in the black at the moment, and it is hard to sort of come by. And then another one, this is a sneaky one that snuck in right at the end of the year, but again, I liked it so much that it deserved a mention. It is the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner in Trooper. Again, this one has that flexible brush tip applicator, and that is the reason why I love it. It's very dark, very black. We can't leave the eyes without talking about lashes. So my favorite mascara, unfortunately, I don't actually have to show you. It is the Kevyn Aucoin, the Volume Mascara. Absolutely adored that stuff. I used it in a ton of videos. I spoke about it in favorites videos. However, I'm on a self-imposed ban from repurchasing or buying mascaras until I get through some of the ones that I got, because it's getting a little bit ridiculous how many mascaras I have. So that's why I don't have it here, but as soon as I lift that ban, or basically as soon as I cave, I will be repurchasing it again. Two others that stand out from the year, but one is the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes Mascara. This is an awesome mascara. It's very dramatic, gives you volume, gives you length. I thoroughly enjoyed that one. And then from the drugstore, I have to mention the Max Factor Masterpiece Transform Mascara. It's the one that I've been using pretty much for the last couple of months, and I used it today. I really enjoy this one. It would definitely be a repurchase. It has a skinny little brush, which is definitely something that I've determined that I prefer when it comes to applying mascara for me, just because of the shape of my eyes. Any really big brushes just make it very difficult to get mascara on my eyes or on my lashes without getting it on my eyelids. I'm a big old mess when it comes to mascara. I get it everywhere, and the smaller brushes just make it that little bit easier. This gives me volume, it gives me some length. I really enjoy this one. And then some false lashes that made me really enjoy false lashes again come from Kiss. I believe I first saw these on Blair Fowler's channel like a few years ago. Anyway, they were in the back of my mind, and when I was in LA I decided to pick some up. They're the trio lashes in various lengths. I use the short and extra short, or the medium and the short, depending on how dramatic I'm going, but they just make applying lashes easy. They're just in little strips of 3, so you don't have to worry about trying to get a whole strip in a line. You can mess up a bit and it doesn't matter. Apply them with some tweezers, just drop them on your lashes and you're good to go. You can put them just on the outside, you can put them all the way across, you can make it look like a strip lash, you can make it look like you've just got some ones on the outside. You can mix and match, do whatever you want. The Lazy Girls eyelashes. We're coming up to my favorite part of the 2014 favorites in makeup. It is lips. I have so many lip favorites that I had to split them down into subcategories, but bear with me. The first one being lipstick. Got to go to the By Terry Rouge Terribly in Bare Instinct. These are pricey, but they are a great lipstick formula, and the Bare Instinct shade is what I'm actually wearing on my lips today. It has to be like one of the most unique Rachael shades out there, because it sometimes pulls warm, like it's got like a bit brick undertone to it, and sometimes I feel like it pulls a bit cooler and looks like it's got a bit more of a berry undertone to it. I don't know what's going on, what magical powers this lipstick has, but I absolutely adore it. The Chanel Rouge Coco Shine in Boy. This was another America trip purchase, and it became my favorite nude everyday lipstick. I've decided that for me to get away with nudes, I really need them to be a more sheer formula, because I just find that that looks better on me and I feel more comfortable wearing nudes in that kind of shade range. And this formula does have that sheerness to it. It has a little bit of shine to it. It's a great pinky, mauvey, brownie nude that I absolutely adore. Lip gloss favorites. Clarins Instant Light Lip Perfector, is that what they're called? Instant Light Natural Lip Perfector lip glosses. These seem to sort of blow up a little bit on YouTube this year, and in blogs I saw them mentioned by quite a few people, particularly from the UK. I gave them a go and I can see why people enjoy them. They are lovely. I've got shade 6 and shade 5. Both are really lovely natural colours. They do give your lips a tint. They smell amazing. They give you a shine. They're not sticky at all. Absolutely love these. And from the drugstore, there was a couple of lip gloss releases that I really enjoyed. One was from L'Oreal, and they're the Color Riche or Color Riche Extraordinaire, Color Extraordinaire. I love L'Oreal and I love their packaging. Hate that they don't write the name of the actual product type on there, but you guys know what I'm talking about. They're these ones. Favorite color from this range was Moto Mauve. Wore this one a lot, still wear it. Again, they smell lovely, look lovely on the lips. This is a great everyday kind of shade. The Maybelline Color Elixirs, again, very kind of similar formula, have some color but not as pigmented as a liquid lipstick. They feel nice on the lips. My favorite shade from this range is Celestial Coral, which is a really nice, pretty pinky coral shade. Unfortunately, I don't think this shade was actually released in Australia. I picked this up in America, but a fantastic range from the drugstore as well. I'm going a bit roundabout here. I probably should have talked about lip pencils first, but two standouts for me: MAC's lip pencil in Whirl. This has to be, it was one of these products that again blew up in 2014. It was all the rage, everyone was talking about it. And it is a lovely, lovely color, and I was wearing it in probably my most liked or most commented on profile picture ever. I used it in a Kylie Jenner makeup look or tutorial kind of thing that a lot of people did, and a lot of people used this lip pencil, but it's a great one, and I think it will continue to be very popular in 2015 as well. And then another one that I really enjoyed was from Charlotte Tilbury. It's the Lip Cheat in Pillow Talk. This is a really nice pinky nude color that I think works really well for my natural lip color. Again, it's one of those ones that you can use to extend your lip shape a little bit if you want to overline a little bit. I tend to not do that too much, but this is a good one for that. Another subcategory, liquid lipsticks. Favorites of mine, the Too Faced Melted lipsticks, or liquefied long wear lipstick, we're going to get the right name. Melted Berry, Melted Fig, favorite colors. Melted Fig is like my favorite purpley lip color. It's one of the most wearable purpley lip colors that I've found, because I'm usually not a purpley lip color girl. And Berry is just an absolutely stunning color. I really, really adore these. Highly pigmented. They are long wearing, are comfortable on the lips, transfer like a mofo. Seriously, if you touch anything with your lips, or touch your lips and then touch something else, you will get pigment and lip color everywhere, but other than that, they are awesome. I couldn't not mention my favorite, probably bold lip of the year, maybe my favorite lip color of the whole year. That has to be the Lime Crime Velveteen in Wicked. Absolutely love this shade. It was definitely my favorite dark shade of 2014. I like the formula of these. They're unique. They're very, very thin going on, but they set to a matte kind of velvet looking finish, and I adore them. Don't really like the applicator. I think it's a big waste of time, and you're better off using a brush, but other than that, awesome, awesome, awesome color. Then the most unique lip product formula that I tried in 2014 has to go to the Bourjois Rouge Edition Velvets. This one I have the matte finish in the shade Velvet 02, which is a pretty bright, bold, kind of pinky, slightly corally shade. The formulation of these, they do dry to like a matte formula, but it's very comfortable, and when they go on, they have this kind of creamy, gummy formula, a little bit like the YSL Glossy Stains, but while the YSL Glossy Stains are glossy, these set to a matte finish, if that makes any sense at all. Okay, we're powering through this. Are you still with me? If you are, high five. Last lip product subcategory, probably the biggest lip product subcategory of 2014, at least in my opinion, and probably 2013 as well. The jumbo lip pencils. I love me some jumbo lip pencils. My favorite one has to be the Bobbi Brown Art Stick in Rose Brown. This one, random pick, random find. Bought it when I was actually looking for a blush of all things. Sold out of the blush. I ended up getting it, but they were sold out, but I bought this. It is just a gorgeous rosy brown nude shade. And I actually purchased this before the whole 90s and Kylie Jenner lip, like the brown kind of lip thing, really kind of got popular online. So I feel like I was a little bit ahead of the trend. Don't even know how I managed to do it, but I did it. And then my other favorite has to be the Revlon Color Burst Matte Balm in the shade 225 Sultry. I love the matte balms out of all the Revlon ones, but this shade in particular, this pinky berry, slightly browny shade, I adore this. It was definitely a favorite at the start of the year and deserved a mention for my overall 2014 favorites. So they are all my makeup picks of 2014. I wanted to mention a couple of tools very, very quickly. My favourite brush to apply concealer and blend out concealer, particularly under my eyes, is the Furless Pro 7E brush. Also the Inglot 4SS brush, great for setting powder underneath the eyes as well as on the face, and for contouring, again 2014 discovery. And then a big brush discovery of 2014, and I think it was a big discovery on YouTube, on the internet's kind of thing, Zoeva brushes. I thoroughly enjoy these. I bought these myself. These are the rose gold little set of, I think, 8 brushes. So soft, great value, work really well. I will definitely can see myself buying more Zoeva brushes in the future, although I shouldn't because I have way too many brushes. So that is everything. They are all my makeup and beauty picks from 2014, favourite discoveries, favourite products that I use. I still am enjoying all the other products that I mentioned in previous years, but they were the ones that from 2014 that really stood out. I hope you guys have enjoyed going through this with me. I did want to do some skincare favourites, but I know this video is already way too long. So what I was thinking is actually doing a skincare favourites in the form of a skincare routine, because I keep on getting asked a lot about that. So if that is something that you'd want to see, definitely let me know in the comments, or give this video a thumbs up so I know that that's something that you want to see. And also feel free to leave me any new video recommendations or things that you want me to do coming up. It's a new year. We have a clean slate. I've got a lot of new subscribers, so I want to know what you guys want to see, as well as all of you. I want to know what you want to see from my channel going forward. I also want to know about what products that you loved in 2014, any of the ones that I mentioned. Let me know if you've got other recommendations, things that I need to try in 2015. It's a year to try new things, so why not let me know about them, and maybe I'll get to try them this year. And other than that, I hope you guys are doing very well. I hope you've had a great start to the year, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!